Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Not Fade This podcast. My name is Joshua Reimer. I'm joined by none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Jared Block. Jared, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday afternoon?
I'm doing good, man. We're sweating a good chunk of this slate out right now. Some of our top plays just started, so from that end, we're feeling pretty optimistic and strong. Just saw Mackenzie Gore just absolutely shove in his start, so that was good to
Insane.
see. Yeah, my top plays went 2 for 2 yesterday. We had a nice day for TJ Rumfield as well as and who did I have for my ladder? Oh, Ben Rice. He came through late and did well from that angle. So felt good coming into Tuesday after a rougher Monday. Feel pretty good about today's slate. It'll be a nice one to sweat out the rest of the night. I know we don't have a huge slate today to talk about, considering most things are going on, like I said, but there's still some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, still certainly some stuff to talk about. Just four games to cover here, but we'll cover them to the best of our abilities. Yeah, yesterday was a good day. Who didn't come through? Jordan didn't come through for me. And I don't know if you saw my NBA flag plant, but I took Will Riley. It was the Wizards against the Bulls, Jared. And can you guess? Will Riley's line was 22 and a half. He had back-to-back games where he went off for 30 points. Can you guess how many points he gave me last night, Jared?
0.
Close. He gave me two because he shot 1 for 13 from the field.
Oh my
Just
God.
the
Okay.
sweet treat of NBA keeps on giving. Our ladder did fully hit though. LaMelo Ball hit 6 threes. We had him up to five. So there is the good and the bad of NBA. We are focused on MLB here. But yeah, MLB was okay to me tonight. Like I said, Jordan didn't come through, but Cam certainly did. And looking forward to tonight's slate overall. All right, Jared, let's get into it. Let's start out like we always do and start with the weather. What do the people need to know about the weather reports today?
Yeah, not much. We have two dome games, one in Tropicana, one in Lone Depot in Miami, and then you do have some interesting situations for the night games. It's not as windy as it was in Yankee Stadium as yesterday, but the temperatures are in the low 40s here. And then at Target Field in Minnesota, we have temps that are much warmer than we've seen from them recently. Temps in the low 50s. Winds are blowing out to left a little bit at 10 to 12 miles an hour, but nothing critical. So that's been the story of the slate today. I had a couple of games cold this morning, but I guess if you're looking at anything that's not great, it would be the Yankees' temperature, but still a hitter-friendly situation.
Definitely still a hitter friendly situation. Probably feels like summer over in Minnesota considering the cold weather they saw all weekend and all that. Got winds blowing out, which is a lot of fun. Excited to talk about all of that. All right, let's get into top implied team totals. And Jared, we kick it off with the team who was third on the list overall. They're top of the list for the evening games. It is this New York Yankees team again, who have an implied total of 5 runs. Over under in this game is at 8.5. They are money line favorites of minus 216 here against the Athletics. Give me your thoughts. What do you like? What do you not like about this Yankees offense?
Yeah, this is where I want to connect with you because I think that, on a slate that's really, really small, you have to talk about him in a positive light because Luis Severino is one of the worst pitchers on this card just in general. So the thing that we talked about yesterday was like the top of this lineup was kind of struggling a little bit, and so was the bottom to a tremendous degree. You have something similar in that light today. The bottom of the order is just not good against righties. Grisham's had his struggles, though I will say he had some really strong at bats and was just unlucky last night. We talked about Judge having a heavy strikeout rate and a lower ground ball rate that we like, but it does feel like if you want hitters to face off against Severino, at least in a very small sample size, it looks like righties are good to go here. Severino's got a 50% hard contact rate against righties this season through 3 innings. The walk rate is off the charts at 30%, and that obviously is a little bit of an over exaggeration considering the low sample size. But if these guys aren't going to strike out and they're going to put the ball in play and he's giving up a lot of hard contact, I think you start with righties and you kind of go from there, right?
Yeah, I kind of think it's almost just like I want anything against Sevy. For those
Sure.
who don't know, Severino was a pitcher for the Yankees for quite a while. This is a revenge narrative of sorts, but I would say it's more of a revenge narrative for this Yankees team. He said some pretty not nasty stuff necessarily, but he wasn't kind when talking about the Yankees. At least when he was a Met, he wasn't very kind about it. And when he became an Athletic and the Yankees got a chance to face off against him, they gave him hell, man. They put up 13 earned runs against him in just 7.1 innings, 2 home runs in that stretch as well. This Yankees team sees him well. I think they do well here. I like the righties first, which means probably Stan's your top option today. But Judge is good here. I think the lefties are honestly just fine. I kind of just want the best hitters in this situation because I do think they end up roughing up Luis a little bit here. So I really like the Athletics today. Or not the Athletics, excuse me. I really like the Yankees taking on the Athletics, and I think this Yankees offense is in a very good spot.
Top 4 hitters. Can we include Rosario in there after hitting a home run last night as a righty?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I think it would clearly be like Judge, Bellinger, Rice, Stanton as my top 4. But the whole bottom of the lineup had a really good day yesterday. Rosario got the home run, but Wellesley got a hit. Jose Caballero got a hit. So the bottom of the lineup did extremely well. Jazz got a hit too. We've been talking about how Jazz has been slumping a little bit to start out the year. He did pretty well last night. So I think overall, I feel pretty excited about what this offense can bring to the table. And on top of it, Athletics used like all their good arms last night in a very close game. Means they're not going to have many of those top arms today. So that gets you even more excited about what you could face off against when you get to this bullpen, which the Athletics bullpen has been really, really bad to start out the year.
I was going to bring that up too. One of the worst pens in the league. So yeah, that extends things to both sides of the plate, but mainly like lefties can probably have a really good 1 to 2 at bats after Sevilla leaves the game.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's move on to one other team because I don't think we can cover more than that on this late night slate when it comes to top implied team totals. And it belongs to the Detroit Tigers here, who have a 4.5 implied team total in this one. The over-under of the total game is at 8. The Tigers are moneyline favorites at minus 154 here. Give me your thoughts on what the Tigers bring to the table and how they can improve from an awful offensive outing against Taj Bradley last night.
Dude, yeah. I mean, credit to Taj. I actually kind of have liked what he's been doing recently, though I will say most of Minnesota's games have been ice cold, so we'll see how that improves things. But we do like talking about Bailey Ober, right? Usually we talk about him in a negative light, and that's kind of where we'll start because he's allowed 3 earned runs in both games to start the year. I think that, look, Ober might be able to get there from a strikeout angle. I do think it comes with hits and runs and walks on top of that. So with that said, I do think that he's just going to give up a ton of fly balls, which is never going to look good when the weather starts to get warm, and that might not be a huge thing today, but he's looking like an extremely reverse splits pitcher right now, which means, for those of you who don't know what that is, if the pitcher is right-handed, if we call it reverse splits, he's giving up a lot of damage to right-handed hitters. So you get that here. Give me your thoughts on what a Tigers lineup would look like, because we do know they can run lefty-heavy at times. I'm looking for one. I thought we got it. Do we have it?
I don't have it, at least not in front of me. I have the projected one that we have, but I don't have anything outside of that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we do have it quite yet, but we should have it soon. So if it comes down on the podcast, I will bring it back up. But these righties are in great spots, right?
Yeah, the righties are in great spots. This reverse splits thing is, sometimes you have to. Reverse splits are kind of hard to diagnose at the beginning of the season because it could all just be an anomaly. It could all just be, he's faced off against more hitters that are better against righties or more right-handed hitters that are better against righties or, so on and so forth. But we know that Ober's been a reverse splits guy his whole career. That's kind of just who he's been. He's always really struggled against right-handed hitters. So, yeah, I think righties are totally in play. Dylan Dingler has had a fantastic start to the season, not only on the offensive side, but on the defensive side too. He's looked really good, like Gold Glove level material stuff. So that doesn't matter for our case, but his offensive stats do matter, and especially against righties, he's looked good. A 404 weighted on base average, a 304 ISO. None of those are too shabby. Glaber has had a pretty good start to the season. You'd like to see that hard contact a little bit higher against righties, but overall the stuff has been good. And Torkelson, while the numbers don't look great right now, especially from a K perspective, he's getting walks and he is putting hard contact together. So all the righties profile really well here. And then you get into BVP and like even some lefties profile well against Ober too. So I like the spot overall against Bailey Ober. I think this is a spot that you can attack. And then again, we go to the bullpen where this Minnesota bullpen has been pretty below average at least. They haven't been as bad as like the Athletics bullpen that we just talked about, but they still aren't nearly at that average mark. So this is an overall good matchup for Detroit.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Stick with the righties, go from there. Eventually, you brought this up earlier in the chat with that graphic that was talking about unluckiest home run hitters. McGonigal has had a couple of home runs robbed. Riley Green also on that list. So like they're getting there. They're just getting unlucky right now.
Yeah, McGonigal. Kerry Carpenter's been like he's put together the hard contact. Yeah. The results haven't come through. Colt Keefe's probably been the most interesting hitter on this team. I am purely mystified on why they keep pinch hitting Matt Vierling for him whenever a lefty comes in. His bat has been so good, and they continue to not let him play out a full game. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about going for a guy like Colt Keefe. But everyone else here is kind of just fully in play. The Greens, the Carpenters. You start with righties, like you said, and then you can go from there. And you can feel really good about what the Tigers bring to the table.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you want to cover one more team? I feel like we really shouldn't, considering there's only 8 teams as a whole that haven't played yet.
Yeah, no, we can probably move on.
All right, let's move on. Let's go over to hottest hitters. This will probably be a short segment because we only have 8 teams to cover. But give me your thoughts. Who are your hottest hitters in this segment?
Yeah, it's probably just going to start with Ben Rice. I know that he's just been like the eyesight in the patience of what he's been putting together this last week has been tremendous. And I know that you can talk about this in a variety of ways. Look like the extra base hit stuff's off the charts. 3 home runs and 3 doubles in the last 6 games. The main thing I wanted to get across is that like he's just been willing to kind of just get on base. He's walked 7 times in the past 3 games, scoring a bunch of runs. He scored a run in 8 straight games. That's insane. So like, yeah, he looks really good from a bunch of angles, and does profile well against Sevy, especially considering that walk rate's so high to both sides of the plate. So Ben Rice leads the list, and he's hitting almost 400 to start the year.
Yeah, and not only is there an ability to walk for him, but 5 of his last 6 hits are extra base hits. So like, there's a lot of power in the hits when he does make contact. Yeah, I can't say enough positive things about Rice. I'll group this Marlins team in as a whole and just talk about Xavier Edwards and Otto Lopez here because both of them have been hot to start out the season. This Miami team's putting together like really solid offense. Sometimes they do this in spurts. I hope this is more of a sustained thing for them this year, but we've seen some impressive stuff, and it has started with Edwards and Lopez. Lopez has had 2+ hits, runs, RBIs in 4 straight games. Xavier Edwards has had 2+ hits, runs, RBIs in 8 out of his last 10 games. Both guys seem like they're in a pretty solid spot.
Yes. One last guy I'll mention that I know we haven't really been able to talk about Cincinnati in a good light just because it's been like Sal Stewart, and that's kind of it. But I will say Elliot De La Cruz has been putting it together recently. He has a hit in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 8 games. He has scored a run in 7 straight games. He's stealing bags now. He's putting it together collectively. Has a few home runs in that stretch too. So he is turning up from a slow start to the season.
For sure. All right. Anything else here for hottest hitters, Jared? If not, we'll move right along to round table.
Something that I noticed is that Nick Kurtz is starting to heat up a little bit. So he has doubled in back-to-back games. We're still waiting to see a home run from him. So I guess I know that you like Will Warren a lot tonight, so I won't talk the spot up too much. But I will note that these lefties, Soderstrom too, they're starting to creep up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else here? If not, we'll move over to round table, Jared.
Now we can move on.
All right, let's move right along over to round table. For those who don't know how it works, Jared and I bring some of our top plays to the table. Those plays are in different categories, and those categories are gas can, aces, and favorite hitter. We'll have to come up with a better name for favorite hitter. I feel like I haven't found the category name for that yet, but it'll come soon. All right, gas can, our guy that we think is going to blow up on the mound today. Who do you think it's going to be?
There's not Too many guys to talk about in this light. I think I got to mention Bailey Ober, obviously. What we'll probably just do, though, I think, is if you're looking at like the worst collective situation, I think you got to go with the Rays bullpen. Like that's probably the worst
Yeah.
situation here. That's probably your gas can situation. They have one of the worst collective bullpens in baseball, and it was just unfortunate to see that play out yesterday, where Drew Rasmussen had to not start because of paternity stuff. So congrats to him. But at the same time, they kind of left his bullpen hanging to dry, and they gave up like what double-digit runs last night. And it's going to take quite the outing from Joe Boyle to stop that from happening again. So I think the Rays are a team, and alongside the A's, like if you're looking to nitpick on a 4-game slate, I'd feel overly bullish on Chicago's offense and New York's offense.
For sure. For my gas can, like you said, pretty tough to pick a guy here, considering we only have 8 pitchers to pick from, and a lot of these pitchers we do kind of like from their perspectives. I will go Brady Singer, though. Like I said, like this Marlins offense has just been really good. 4th best WRC plus against righties, 4th best weighted on base average against righties. They're not walking at all, but they're just doing everything else really, really well right now. So I think they find a way to get the Singer. Singer's been reverse splits so far this year. I don't know if that's a tendency that'll keep on going on, but I do like the overall upside for this Marlins team. I think it starts with Xavier Edwards, Augustin Ramirez, and Liam Hicks. Owen Casey should probably be on that list as well. He has been really solid for this team so far. So, yeah, I'll have Singer as my gas can. Let's move on to aces, Jared. Who do you got?
I'd like to spend some time talking about Fromber here. I think that when you're talking about an ace, he has shown that from a I'm going to get you a quality start side of things, right? Like the strikeout stuff hasn't been elite by any means. Though I will say that San Diego's a tough K spot. He didn't really need to have Ks in the St. Louis spot, getting the quality start in the win, keeping things under control there with 0 earned runs. He's only allowed 1 run over his last 12 innings. So looks really good from that angle. And I will say, like, yes, I know that Skubal kind of lost it later in the 5th inning and was taken out, unfortunately, in that situation. But he was cruising through 4 innings, got some unlucky stuff that didn't go his way. And I think that Fromber's elite ground ball rate will carry him through this spot. The Minnesota Twins have been, let's see, the 7th worst team against lefties. They're striking out at a 27% clip, which is the top 8 number. So if you want to see some strikeout upside tonight, I think Fromber's got it there.
Yeah, can certainly get behind that. Probably think I was going to go Will Warren here. I'm not going to go Will Warren. I'm going to go with Yuri Perez here because I really do like the spot for Yuri. First of all, Cincinnati's just been downright bad, right? Second worst WRC plus against righties so far this year. And while their K rate's at 15th overall, I don't think that's very representative of this team. It's that low because Ke'Bryan Hayes has a 0% strikeout rate so far this season, Jared, which is utterly insane. But Sal Stewart also has a 20% strikeout rate. Everyone else on this team has a 23% strikeout rate or higher against right-handed pitching. Yuri Perez is in a good spot. I talked about this the last time that I talked about Yuri Perez, which was when he was in Yankee Stadium, that he's kind of a hometown merchant a little bit. His away ERA in his career is a 5.03, Jared. Can you guess his home ERA?
I have to say like 2.7.
2.54, a whole basically in half, like cuts his runs in half, which is pretty insane overall. I really like the Yuri Perez spot. He also has 95 innings pitched at home with 116 strikeouts. He has 102 innings pitched away with 109 strikeouts. Lone Depot Park is so pitcher friendly overall, and he clearly just likes pitching here more. So him being at home tonight's going to help him on top of facing off against a Cincinnati team that is not good. I mean, if Jack Leiter could get 9 strikeouts against this team, I think Yuri Perez can dial in a little bit here and have a really good game. So I like Will Warren a lot, but I like Yuri Perez a lot too. Yuri Perez, I feel like no one's going to be talking about him tonight, and there is some definite upside here, even if he did have a little bit of a blow-up start last time against the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm a Yuri supporter. You know that. Anybody that read my top 10 pitchers to take a next jump knows that Yuri Perez is on that list. So we'll be rooting for him.
For sure. All right. Anything else here? Oh, not anything else here. We got to get to our top hitter, Jared. Who do you got?
From this 4-game card, let's see. Hmm. I want to come across and say that even if I take someone that's going up against the person that we just highlighted in a good way, that doesn't mean I still don't like the pitcher. Uh, I think I just kind of got. Well, actually, I'll just stick in this game because I think that if there's one guy that actually might do okay in this matchup, it might be Tyler Stevenson, who has homered twice in his last 4 games and is seeing the ball well. He scored a run in 3 of the last 4 as well. There's a walk in there. Like I think if you were looking to find a hitter that could take advantage of Yuri Perez's reverse splits, it's a hit or miss strikeout or extra base hit situation. But if there's anybody that's got power for the Reds against right-handed pitching right now, it's essentially just Tyler Stevenson.
Yeah, I can certainly get behind that. Um, I don't know who I want to go to now. I didn't really think ahead of who I was going to pick for this spot of the
Pretty thin out
round
there
table.
besides Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna bring up like a Yankee, but I feel like that's really boring. It kind of goes to our points yesterday where we brought up some more fun hitters to talk about. I've already talked about this guy, but I feel like it is worth being said again. Dylan Dingler has been on quite the roll to start out this season. I hope they start moving him up in the lineup. I feel like the matchup is really good against a reverse splits pitcher like Ober, and I feel like you have a really good matchup against the bullpen too. So we'll go Dylan Dingler here for favorite hitter. All right, Jared, you got anything else for roundtable? If not, we'll head over to Two Minds Are Better Than One.
No, if I say anything more, we're just gonna continue to like I'm gonna waste plays. So
Yeah.
I need this guy for this next segment.
For sure. All right, let's move on to this next segment then, Jared, and head over to Two Minds Are Better Than One. For those who don't know how it works, Jared and I go back and forth, each of us selecting 2 player props each. We put those player props into a parlay with our goal of the parlay to have odds between plus 100 to plus 150. We're going to go over that sometimes. We proved that last night when we went over the number, but that is quite all right. Jared, let's get going. I'll let you go first. Where do you want to go?
Yep. We talked about Singer's reverse split stuff. When I was writing this spot up, I was like you kind of mentioned, like it's kind of tougher to fully buy into Miami. We're gonna be bullish today just because I do think Singer's got some stuff coming towards him. With the main guys that are doing well in this lineup have been left-handed hitters, but we have seen Otto Lopez continue to do well, and on top of that, my guy that I'm going to bring up here is Agustin Ramirez, who you kind of touched on. I know that the strikeout rate is 30% to righties to start the year in a 20-plus plate appearance sample size, but if Singer doesn't have his strikeout rate to righties, which he doesn't right now, and he's giving up hard contact over 50%, like I can buy into this recent production from Augustin. He's had back-to-back games with an extra base hit, and I think that's going to only translate to more power here. He has not hit a home run yet. I think he could do it today. We can go for a hit. That's fine.
You want to go for 1+ hit run RBI? That's kind of what
That's
I've been
fine.
going with. Yeah,
Yep.
just gives you a little bit more leeway potentially. Yeah, I'm going to this Yankee game. I've talked about a lot of Yankees so far, but I haven't talked about Cody Bellinger, who's kind of just turning it on right now and has been a really good hitter for this team recently. So we'll go 1+ hit run RBI for Cody.
All right. Okay. What I would like to do, this burned us last night, but I feel like we can go a little lighter on what number we choose. But I think that one of the best overall leans on the night card in general is like just getting this Yankees team to walk against Severino. The Yankees have, on the year against right-handed pitching, they have a 14.7% walk rate. If you look at what Severino brings to the table, he's had a 14% walk rate against lefties over 5 innings and a 29% walk rate against righties over 3 innings against them. So collectively, I feel pretty good about Sevy walking some guys here. I'm probably okay with 1. I know that's the reason we lost the bet last night. Kikuchi only had 1 walk and we needed 2. So it's up to you what you want to do there.
Yeah, I see. Like it's tough with DK because they took it away that you can't ladder walks allowed. Like you can't go. So like how they offer it now is like you can take him for 4 or fewer, 3 or fewer, 2 or fewer, so on and so. You can't take like 2+, 1+, all that. Like they've changed how they offer some of those pitcher props. So I can't really take it at anything except for if I want to take over walks allowed. Can't take it at anything over the base except for over the baseline.
Here's the thing then. Can I do Ben Rice for a walk?
You can do Ben Rice for a walk for sure.
Let's do that.
Might be plus money, but we will make it work. It's not plus money. It's minus 101, but I think that's certainly fine. I think you can go with a hit run RBI there for him too, if you wanted to get closer to that plus 100 odds. But altogether, oh wait, no, I haven't done mine yet. Sorry, I kind of just left mine. I already had mine in the parlay, so I'm going Will Warren for 4+ strikeouts. Like I said, the Perez spot was the one I wanted to cover in that spot, but I think Warren's in a really good spot to dial in. I do think that the best hitters on this team right now are the righties for the Athletics, and Warren has been shut down to right-handed hitters so far this year. So, yeah, I really like the spot for Will Warren overall. So altogether, we have Cody Bellinger for 1+ hit run RBI. We have Will Warren for 4+ strikeouts thrown. Ben Rice for 1+ walk. Augustin Ramirez for 1+ hits, runs, RBIs. Altogether gets us at plus 303, Jared. Not too shabby. All right, man, let's get out of here. Give me your final thoughts.
Instead of doing that, because we've already given away all the information we possibly could for this 4-game card, we're going to sweat your flag plant play of the day because Alec Burleson has the bases loaded against Mikolas with 2 outs. So we will talk about that. There's been 8 runners in scoring position that have been left on base in this game, so it is still 0-0, and it's been really tilting through the show as I've tried not to show emotion on it. So with that said, also the D-backs are crushing the Mets right now. I did not expect to see that.
I love that.
Anyway, also the Rockies have outscored the Astros by 10-2 in the last 2 games. Any thoughts on that?
What? Wait, sorry, I was looking at the game because I just saw, or I think, no? I don't know. MLB TV showing something else than real is. You were talking about the Rockies and the Astros?
Yeah, Colorado's put up double-digit runs on Houston the past 2 games. And now, obviously, Christian Javier left the game, so they have to go full bullpen, and we know that their bullpen's been bad. So, bad times for Houston. Yeah,
bad times for Houston. I think the Rockies really just dialed it in. I mean, it seems like the offense was cold to start out the season, but ever since they faced off against, oh man, I did the same thing yesterday. I forgot who the pitcher was that was pitching on Sunday for the Phillies, but ever since they lit him up and started getting going, it's been a lot of fun to watch this team. So I think the Rockies have just dialed in on their offense a little bit, and it's hard to come into an elevation situation. We've talked about this before, and there's no numbers that you could truly point to backing it up, but it feels like the first few games the team sometimes struggles when they have to deal with that elevation in Colorado, and that's kind of been the case for some of these Astros. Obviously, we've seen Christian Walker dial in regardless, but tough stuff for them for sure. Oh my God, Jorge Soler hit another home run. Insane.
Yep.
What a goat.
Yep, I know. He hates the Braves.
We're going to pull him for him being suspended.
Yeah. With that
what an electric fight last night.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
That's baseball that I love to see. That's what you want to. That's what I wanted to see when USA played Canada in the WBC. That's fun baseball right there. That's obviously happy that everyone's okay. Glad that no one got super injured. But my goodness, was that fun to watch,
dude. The pitcher Ronaldo Lopez literally used the baseball as a bat on Jorge Soler's head. So that was
it was called the baseball version of brass knuckles, which I thought was really funny.
I was surprised that we didn't see something similar because there's this brewing Wilson Contreras drama against the Brewers.
Against the pitcher. What pitcher is it?
Woodruff.
Against Woodruff,
he's hit him 11 times he's hit him.
It's crazy because Williams on the team too.
I know.
They have another control. They're brothers, right?
There's not signage going on there. Get him up and in.
It's funny. So. It's funny. I don't know if you watched the whole fight. Did you see the pitching coach make the tackle?
Yes, I did.
The 62-year-old coach with perfect form tackling. It was a beauty to watch. Anyway, all right, fun stuff. Let's get out of here. Burleson hit, by the way. I think a single, RBI single, if I saw it correctly.
2 RBI single, yeah.
Ooh, RBI single. You'll love to see it. We had him over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, too. So that's an easy cash to start out the day. All right, man. Let's get out of here. Any other final thoughts?
No. Well, are we podcasting? No podcast tomorrow because it's a 4-game slate. So we'll see you back on Monday. I have members covered for the next 2 days, so we'll give Josh some much needed time off. I don't think either of us have had more than 2 days
Yeah.
since the season started, so it'll be nice to get that going.
I don't think I've had a day off because MLB season started. We both wanted to cover things, so I worked Thursday and Friday. Last week I worked Thursday and Friday just because I didn't end up working a couple days earlier on in the week due to some personal stuff, and then yeah, it's just been go 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 all season, which is nice. But like you said, it's nice to get a little bit of a break. So excited to take a step away, obviously, for these next couple of days, and excited to get back at it during the weekend. But yeah, no podcast tomorrow, no podcast Friday, and we will be back on Monday, and hopefully get a more regulated schedule with the podcast. Hopefully things can feel more steady here coming soon. But yeah, anything else? If not, let's get out of here, man.
Nope, we're all set.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank y'all for listening. As always, my name is Joshua Reimer, and we will see y'all next week.